Hey, good morning, everybody. Sarasota Tim coming to you from inside the Crusher. I'm heading south northbound on I-95. Got a Chick-fil-A Diet Coke, and I just ate one of their chicken breakfast biscuits. I'm not a Chick-fil-A person. I don't believe in waiting in that line, but I totally get it now. That was probably the best chicken biscuit I've ever eaten in my life. But then again, you can't believe a damn thing I say. So, you say, where are you going, Baker? I'm heading to the West Coast. I was talking to Ted and Jolene last night, and I was telling them I'm going to be going over to Sarasota to see my dear friends, Fred and Rafaela. And they're older than me, not by much. I think Fred is 80 or 81. Hey, I'll be 70 in 5 years. I'm going to be 65 on the 29th. Did you get that? The 29th. I milk my birthday. I really do. I tell everybody. In all the years I've had birthdays, some people are like, they don't even want to, talk about it. They're another year older. That's a special darn day to me, man. I tell everybody, hey, today's my birthday. Nobody cares. They care when it's theirs, though. Some people do. But anyway, I was talking to Ted and Jolene last night, and we were in the shop, dodging the mosquitoes. We're all going like this. I mean, they're bad. Those mosquitoes where I'm at are bad. So, we got on the subject of dying. Well, we were talking about a good friend of mine that I used to know in Georgia, Jerry, and he talked about a good friend of his. He's always talked about Dougie, and they're both passed. I think his friend Dougie went shortly after collecting Social Security in his mid-60s or low 60s. My good friend Jerry, he was in his 70s, and so many others. You know your own. I get the hiccups. I'm sorry. And what we were saying was that when you are 65, like I'm going to be on the 29th, when you are in your mid-60s and the average age is 73 in America for a male, you don't think like you did when you were in your 20s, 30s, or even 40s, where you thought, I got forever. All that death stuff, that's way out there in the future somewhere. That's for them old people. Man, here I am, like yesterday I was saying that, and now here I am facing potentially 8 short years left. I expect to live longer. I hope, pray I do. I hope I live to be 200, but hoping and wishing in one hand and, something in the other. But with the average age approaching me only 8 years, like a car loan away, I got one more car I can buy. I always use that silly analogy, but look, we were talking about houses too. How my friend over here I'm going to see bought his place for like dirt cheap. They got it on a bank foreclosure or whatever during that last real estate crash. What was that, 2007, 2008? And Teddy says to me, doesn't seem like that long ago, does it? And I'm thinking, no, it really doesn't. And yet, that's, quite a while ago. So you don't think 8 years, when you're my age and you're 60 or 65 years old, doesn't go by like that? Next thing you know, you got more wrinkles, you got less drive, you got less muscle, you're bending over a little bit more, you're walking slower, you're shuffling around, and some other things have come on you potentially. some kind of stuff. I don't want to have to name them, but anything. And, you develop certain things. You lose hearing, eyesight. I mean, you can fall down. And things can happen to where even those last years, I was telling Teddy last night, you get to be this point, and then, the last 10 years before the, what did he call it? He called it the dirt chair, or the dirt bed. The dirt, before you go to the dirt bed. That's another one for you there. I kind of like it. You could spend 5 years or longer preparing for your dirt bed, because you could get something that's, causing you to really, have a hard time until you go home to the Lord. I mean, it would be great if whatever the last day was for each one of us on this earth, if we could just go to bed and that would be it, but that's not what happens. We get into all kinds of things, diseases and all that, and even when you get that, some can take you out right away and some linger on. This is not a downer, but this is like last night. I had another epiphany. I'm already cognizant of it, but it's just becoming more and more real how that we have to not waste a day. You can't keep putting off the things that we talk about. I know a lot of you don't. I know a lot of you have been busier than I have and busier than most. But some of us that haven't gotten started yet of purging those things from your house, cleaning that closet, cleaning that garage, starting that gym, starting doing those walks, eschewing that alcohol and tobacco or any other drug, and just live the best you can. And if you can milk a few more years, or you can curve something that if you did it one more year by not going to a gym or living dirty or speaking dirty or not being kind to others, and the good Lord says, well, you know what? You're not doing any good here. You're not helping anybody. I'm going to allow this to come into your life, where if you do something and you repent and you try to do good, God opens doors for you and brings things into your life that gives you blessings and longer life and healthier life. I believe this. I believe this. I was heading down a road of not good. I mean, I could still lose a few pounds, but I was really overweight. I was inebriated 7 days a week for many hours of the day, because I would start early. I wouldn't wait till 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock somewhere is what I would say. And these things, and I wasn't talking nice, and I wasn't being as nice as I'm trying to do now. And I never really, I can't say that I suffered hard, but I wasn't getting anywhere. I was confused. I was lost. I was not happy in all aspects of my life. And I was unsure, and I worried. And then all of a sudden, I start encouraging others. I encourage myself when I talk about these things. I started literally doing what I'm talking about. I'm doing these things about being debt free. I'm trying to go to the gym often. I could eat better, but I'm not a house. I can lose a few pounds. My YouTube channel and the community that I have, I couldn't ask for a better type of channel of what we talk about. It's an eclectic channel, but I'm not pigeonholed into just doing, cooking or reviews only, or, whatever. There's 1,000 different things, and I'm interested in those channels. Those guys have a niche, but that's all they do. Mine is every day, and whatever I point my camera at, like talking like right now. it isn't about just quitting your job and getting the Social Security check and taking the reduced amount and still going to work and making, $1,500 or $2,000 a month equal to your Social Security so that you can, make it and get your debts paid. It's not just that. What does any of that matter? What does any of it matter if you're going to be dead and out of this world in 8 or 10 more years? If that's all you got left to go see and do and try to do good deed and visit family and friends or just do what you want to do, whatever the heck you want to do. Think about it. People are dropping like flies long before they get Social Security, folks. Every single day. You don't know if tomorrow's going to come. There is no guarantee. Anything can happen. Anything. But something is certainly going to happen once you get to be my age, and very soon. I mean, I say that because I don't have 30 years. I mean, I could, but I don't have 30 years of enjoyment. Who is enjoying breathing in and out, even though they don't want to go, even though I know, nobody wants to die, but who is enjoying being 90 years old? The very, very mass majority of people in their 80s, late 70s, 90s, if you can find any, what are they doing? They're not doing what I'm doing right now today. This is it. I got this. That's what I wanted to say. That's what I wanted to say. We were talking last night. I was telling Teddy, I said, you got 30 years, you grow up from being a baby to becoming a young adult, and then you waste, 20, 25 more years of building your assets. Some people go through multiple marriages, and guess what? Or boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever. You go through these relationships, and I'm speaking to the masses now. I know there's people out there that met their high school sweetheart, they're still with them. Well, you're rare. But most people have been divorced 2, 3, 4 times. And guess what? I'm one of them. And guess what? It took 5 to 10 years on most of them, and it's that way with a lot of people, to get out of the darn thing. You sit there and you waste and you waste and you waste your time thinking that, this sour milk, if you put it back in the refrigerator, is going to be fresh again. It's never going to happen. But yet people won't pull the trigger. They won't call it quits. They won't say, I'm done, and leave and get a new life. Start a new life. Get your own thing going again. And I've done that with 3 relationships. And if you take the 30 years I had growing up from a baby, and then you take the 25 years or more I spent in relationships and building my life and credit and assets and savings and whatever, we do during those prime years. Look how many of them are hell if you went through these divorces and lost a lot through a divorce, or wasted your time, or these arguing times, or these unhappy days that you can't get back. And now here you are, and somebody comes on and says, get your Social Security at 62, quit your prison job, and start living your life for you. And just work a little bit, to make a little bit of more money, because it's probably not going to be enough. Get yourself debt free and enjoy free time. Enjoy life, because it's almost over. And guess what? There is no do-overs. There is no extension of the contract. You can't get to the dirt bed and say, hold the phone. Can I get an extension? Can I get an extended warranty? Can I get those years back that I didn't leave those relationships? I could have been doing a lot more stuff in travel or building, all that anguish that killed you early because of stress. People are wasting their time in life. I think a lot of people live and die, and if you take away the years of them growing up when they can't even remember, and we all have to do that, going to school to not even get a job, because so many people go to school, they just have a lot of debt, they get out, they don't even get a job. They don't even get the job of what they went to school for. I never went to college. I started working when I was 14 years old. I was selling door-to-door Fuller Brush and Shackley, newspaper routes. Anyway, I digress. A lot of people follow they go to school, they get to high school, they graduate, they go to college, their mommies and daddies pay for it, give them a car, a dorm, spending money, a credit card, come home, go back for the holidays, get high, drink, go to parties, fail, don't even do half their grades good, get out, owe all this money, got no job, no nothing, and now they're 30-something years old, they're just getting out of school. They have no common sense. They got nothing. Then they go get in relationships, have babies, too many, and they get in these relationships with the wrong one. They marry too early before they're mature and know what it's about. I'm one, and I got married when I was 16 years old to a 26-year-old with 2 kids. I digress. It's another story. And I'm talking to myself. I'm looking at my own life. That all the years at 65, and I'm still feeling kind of youthful. I'm still feeling pretty good. I've slowed down from 62, though. I can tell you. So all of you that want to wait till you're 65 or 70 years old to quit the grind and then get this bigger check. You're waiting for this check, $1, a check, money. It's always about the money, right? And then your ass dies, or you had a hard time with all those years. You stuck it out in that prison job, working with those people that didn't like you. You didn't like them. Your boss, all these hours they made you do, your lack of pay, their lack of rewarding you for what you did, your lack of promotions, your lack of this, maybe you're in a relationship that's a lack. Everything's a lack. I'm on a tangent. I'm on a tear right now because I'm thinking about the time I wasted not quitting things that were going nowhere. And they're nowhere now. I'm out of them. But how I wish I could have had those years to live a life without sitting around every other day, grinding it out with this person. And that person the same way. They wasted the same time. It was a lose-lose. So when you add up those days, those years, when you add up those years, they're not days and weeks or months. They're years that you can't get back. You get one life, folks. What are you going to do with your life? What are you going to do with it? I've made a decision about mine. It's unfortunate that things have to come, almost to the end to get it. You have to try every single day, at least part of the day. Do something for yourself. I'm talking about that gym, those walks, those push-ups, that one meal you can skip, that one time when you go out that you're going to make it a point to pay for the guy behind you at the McDonald's, or that one time during the day you go out, you're going to pay a compliment to somebody. You're going to look for someone to chat up. You're going to make someone's day. You're going to start putting some seed in the ground because you need to grow your life longer. You need to extend your health longer. You need to get out and start getting that positive mental attitude. You need to start reaping these rewards from doing these things. Because if you get to the peak point of like 60 and you've wasted all those things we just mentioned, and then you just kind of give up and coast your way down to the dirt bed, but you can You can flatten that curve, as the old saying was. You can flatten that curve. You can take that graph like they show on the stock market. You can turn it up. You can extend your life. You can feel younger. You can run around the block at 75 years old. You can look like Jack LaLanne. You can have a positive attitude. You can have good faculty still. You can keep a good shape, muscle tone, a figure. You can keep fixing yourself. And you can keep being kind. And you can keep growing your prayers and your walk with God and talking. You can improve your life. All those years when you didn't think improvement needed anything because you were worried about money or him or her or your kids or your job or all these distractions, and you didn't pay attention to what was important, yourself and your relationship with God, you and him walking step in step and with the Holy Spirit. And I think that if you get to that point that I've gotten, and you get this epiphany that I've gotten, and you might not even be getting what I'm talking about. You're like, this guy is out there. Well, God gives ears to those he wants to hear. And God gives eyes and opens them to those he wants to see. Others have been so blackened in their spirit and in their heart and in their negativity and in their beliefs and in their wasting time worrying about these silly ass politics. They're so hardened and blackened and blind that God just gave up on you and said, I wash my hands of you. You know, I gave you a choice and you choose to keep pushing it away, pushing it away. He opens the door. He's patient. He's patient with everybody. And he's probably still there if you were to ever come around. But you blacken your own heart. You harden your own heart. And you're going to do it to yourself. I'm so thankful. I am so thankful that I am a man that has always, I've been in sales my whole life. And this is probably the reason why. Have always tried to figure out what can I do to influence people more. But I can't build a doghouse. I didn't learn mechanics or, being an engineer. I didn't go to college. I didn't get a trade. God made me a communicator. And this is what I do. So as a communicator and being a self-starter, I have been my whole life. I don't need anybody to wake me up and get me out of my bed and wash my face and hands and send me out the door to go sell or to go work. I did it on myself. And I'm always looking, what can I do to influence people more? And what can I do to make myself more positive? And what can I do to make myself have a better appearance? And I'm always thinking about all of these things from A to Z every day. I'm very cognizant of what people think about me, what my appearance is, how I can, make an influence, because that's what I am. And this is what I'm talking about now. And I would like to wake up some that have never contemplated it before. Or you just are sitting there idle. And this is the only thing you got looking forward to. Is just continue on with what you're doing and go to the dirt bed one day. Why not enjoy? Believe me, folks, you're going to wish you did. When it gets down to be the end or something comes on you, you don't feel right, and you take that great insurance you got, and you go down to that doctor's office, and he runs a test, an x-ray, a blood test, and he comes back and goes, oh, you got it. Not much we can do either. We can try this or that. And all of a sudden, your whole world is going to be, oh, wow. Oh, wow. What do I do? What did I waste? Look at what I could have done. Now look at me. I can't even go now because I got to do this. And I got to live in this fear every day and deal with this thing. It's coming, folks. You get to be 60, and it happens to a lot of people a lot younger. And you don't take your Social Security, and you don't try to pull out from that rat race at prison and become a free person and walk step in step with God, He'll take care of you. Don't listen to those naysayers out there that you need to have this big pension and 401s and you got to have 2 houses and a BMW. No, absolutely not. You trust the person that gave them what they have, and you trust the person that created it all to get you through. Not everybody's going to drive a BMW. Not everybody's going to have a 401. Not everybody's going to be a millionaire. In fact, more aren't. We all know that, right? So just ask God into your life to do what He can do, but you have to serve Him. Until you serve the Master and genuinely want it. Not just like, hey, hey, sure would like it if you could help me out over here and give me a few more years of life. Hey, help me maybe get that promotion. No. Come on, folks. You got to sow good seed. God says to love. Love is the trick. Love. I'm never going to say it's you, that you can do it, that you have it in you yourself to do all these things to make your life happy. No. That's not what you're going to hear Tim say. What I'm saying is you need God. Now, if that turns, I know it does, some of you off, I'm sorry. But as I always say, I don't hang my head when I say it. I'm a believer, and I can tell you it works. And I can tell you that when I did deny God, and there was a time in my life I did. There's people you can ask. They'll tell you, yes, He did. I went through a spell here many years ago where I denied, even after being a believer all my life. I started listening to something that brainwashed me, and I said, oh, I see it all now. There is no God. And oh my gosh, was that ever dumb? Yeah, I did that. I denied Almighty God for a while. I prayed if He ever took me back in, I'd never do it again, and I never will. I always did. I don't know what happened. I'm not going to go into the story. It was a strange thing in my life. We all make mistakes. And now I can just tell you, you can't do it without God. I know people that say they don't believe and they're living on the ocean. They got 2 BMWs. And they laugh at my videos. The guy that lives in a trailer in a driveway. But maybe if I had a suit and tie on and drove a BMW and videoed from a house over on the ocean, oh, you know what you're talking about. I can see it all now. You have a Ferrari. You live on the ocean. You're wearing a nice suit. I'll listen to what you got to say. Man, people are so shallow. If the shoe fits it, if the shoe fits, get yourself another one the same size. I love that. Well, what are you guys saying? Let me know in the comments. Am I crazy? Is there something wrong with me? Am I just yapping? You know what my prayer is, folks? My prayer is, if there was one sentence, one thing that gave cause for you to pause, to do something better with your life, then it was worth it to me to get you to start crushing it.